Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm really going to start off by saying if you can hear me, let me know. I'm doing some different things with my mic today, and I did not hear anything. So let me check my sound here. I didn't hear anything when my intro played. So please let me know if you can hear me. Because again, I changed my mic today, and we'll see how that goes, right? So if this is your first time being here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If it's not your first time being here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for hopping on with me today as I talk about the 5 surprising facts that keep women trapped, right? In unsatisfactory, it's in the jobs they don't even want to be in unfulfilling jobs, right? Definitely 5 surviving facts. So I am going to ask again if you can hear me, do let me know because I have been known to hop on here and have no sound. So I think the mic tested when I hopped on, but again, I didn't hear myself hear my intro. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Do drop a 1 in the chats if you can in the chat if you can definitely hear me. And I am definitely putting it so I can see the comments there. So thank you for joining me. Again, I am Dr. Twanna Carter, and I, as a career coach, I work with stressed, busy women executives who are plagued by the impostor syndrome, self criticism, and doubt. I work with them to alleviate stress so that they can find peace of mind and fully focus on excelling in their careers. And again, you know that I am talking about the 5 surprising facts, maybe not so surprising, about what keeps women trapped in unfulfilling jobs. And I'm going to scoot my screen around so if someone tells me they can hear me, I will hear it and know that I'm on target. Okay. And so let's go ahead and start, right? And so we know that this year was the first time the number of women in the C-suite actually grew, right? That was a big to do. And of course, it's not where it needs to be, but we're actually making strides. But the thing is, we do lose a lot of women before they get to the C-suite, and there are a number of reasons why that happened, right? We still know that even though women make up most of the workforce, they represent very small amount of folks in the C-suite. Okay. And so, yes, women do still struggle to climb that ladder. Women still deal with, the glass ceiling, but they also deal with, the glass cliff. That's where when women are, promoted into these great positions, into these, high power positions, into C-suite, they're taking over ships that are kind of shaky or already on their way to sinking. And then they're told, hey, wanted this position. You need to save this company, save this organization. And we call that the glass cliff because it's kind of, yes, I got here, but now I'm on board a sinking ship. And that, when that happens, women tend not to get another shot. They don't get another shot often at another C-suite position because they're seen as failures. This company failed under them, this company tanked under them, when actually the company was already on its way down. So a number of things going on in the workplace that makes it tough, right? And it makes it sometimes tough for women to feel like they want to take that step forward into the next level, into the next position, right? So let's go ahead and get started. And we're talking about, again, the 5, right, surprising reason about what keeps women trapped in unfulfilling jobs. And so the number one reason, or no, number one reason, the first reason I'm discussing is most professional women don't have an understanding of the clear path, to get ahead. And if they do, they don't have clear paths to enough mentors and sponsors, right? Because most people running the C-suites, of course, are men. And when a guy comes in, a young guy, and he's hungry, and he may make some mistakes or something. These men sitting around me say, I remember being that. I remember how that felt. they'll reach over and take him under their wings, and then happens more than once, but they will groom this guy. They will mentor him, they will help him gain sponsors to make a path, to clear that path to the C-suite, make it a little easier, certainly define how to get there. Oftentimes women are trying to do that for themselves, right? There's more apt to be folks throwing down stumbling blocks in the way versus reaching down, pushing up, and mentoring. And that holds women back. That means that they actually stay stuck. Well, maybe this is all I can do. Maybe this is as good as it gets. This is all I got. So I'm going to stay here versus just leaving. They're like, I'm lucky to be here. So maybe just let me stay right here. So that's the reason number one, right? Number two, many women still cling to the old paradigm of success, right? Go to college, finish high school, go to college, get a degree in X, Y, Z, land that job, stay there, put your head down, work hard, and you will be rewarded for working hard. That's just not true anymore. For the most part, that isn't true. You know, Many companies, most companies back in the day, I say, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they had a clear career path. So, yes, when you sign on with the company, there's like, yes, you do this, and then you do that, and then you do that, and then you reach here and you have success. Not all companies do that anymore. That's an old paradigm. Definitely we are living in the gig society. That is not necessarily true. Many of us will have to find out our own career paths, though most of us have never been taught to do that, right? Which is why you have career coaches, because we've gone, we studied, we've got experience, and this is why we do what we do. But the average person out there isn't really great at defining a career. From this degree can take me there, but here are all the places in between I need to get there. So many women do think that if I put my head down and I'm dedicated to this company and I work hard, someone's going to see that and reward me. And that isn't true, right? It's all about networking, about who you know, what you know, about getting the right mentors and getting the right sponsors. That's the reason why you get ahead. So that's reason number two. Okay. So reason number three is professional women often struggle with fear and self-doubt, right? Many women, again, have had to work really hard, sometimes harder than their male counterparts to achieve, to get the position that they have now. But that often comes with doubt. Like, am I working hard enough? Did I do? Why did he get there before I did? So let me go learn some more. Let me go do this, this, and this so I can be thought of as equal with him, right? And so they often say, I worked this hard to get here. You know what? Let me hold on to what I got. And I've had clients to say, better the devil I know than the one I don't know, as a reason for not taking that leap to get that next job, right? And so sometimes women feel prevented, like, I'm afraid to take the next step because the people that do help me are here. If I go to the next position or the next organization, the next company, I might not have the same support system that I have here. And so they kind of stay in that one place. And the problem is, sometimes all of your support system, one by one, will either retire or leave. And now you feel stuck because now I have nobody to support me. Everybody's gone. There's no one here to speak up on my behalf. So I might as well hold on to what I got. And it's, again, third reason why women will often stay stuck in unfulfilling jobs, right? Number four is professional women fear that motherhood, being a mother, still affects, it stunts their success potential, right? It's true. A lot of women like, well, I've had a child, or I've had two, or I've had three, or I'm pregnant now. People will look at women differently once they get pregnant. Honestly, you don't even have to get pregnant to be affected by the motherhood rule. And that's crazy, right? People will look at you and say, oh, well, she's getting married. No, let's just write her off. She's probably going to have kids. She's not going to want a career. And so women struggle against that. But women also struggle with the guilt, especially when we hear things like, oh, you're putting your career ahead of your children. A man can have a career and be a great father. Yes. But a woman can't have a career and be a great mother. And some women really struggle with that kind of guilt. They really struggle with it, right? And it's, you don't have to look far. Honestly, you do not have to look too hard to find people who actually say that. And it's not just men who say that, it is other women who say that. There's still people who say, a woman's place is still in the home, right? And it's crazy because there's so many women out there that they are the sole providers. That spouse is disabled, can no longer work, or that spouse has passed, and they are the sole providers. So a woman's place can't be in the home because she needs to be in her job making money for her family, right? And so, it is still hard, right? Because moms still, they still provide most of the support to children. Even if it's a two spouse family, mothers still provide most of the caretaking and most of the doing the chores at home. And so it can really get tough because kids, kids are kids. They need their time, they need their attention, they need their space. And you're trying to do all of that and hold your space in the workplace and make a living for your family. And so that's tough. Women just feel like, well, I'm not going to try to take a leap ahead. I need to maintain what I've got because this is really, really stressful. Even when that job no longer serves them, it's not paying them what they're worth, or they just don't like it. It's like, again, better the devil I know than the one I don't, right? I'm just fortunate to have a job. Okay. And so number 5, the 5th reason why some women do stay in unfulfilling roles, they just stay stuck, is because they get tired of fighting against the system, right? They're tired of fighting against the system to get ahead versus being able to achieve with a flow. So what do we mean by fighting against the system? 45% of Black women say they have experienced racism in the workplace. 45%. And when you start adding in women of color, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, Haitian, when you start adding in, the number climbs. And so some folks are like, I'm just tired of fighting against, like it's always a fight against something to get ahead. Women are sometimes they get tired of the pay gap. I do the work, I work hard. Sometimes I work twice as hard and I'm still not compensated like my male counterparts, right? And again, I mentioned discrimination. There's not just racial discrimination, there is still sexual discrimination in the workplace. And some women are just, again, tired of fighting against that, feeling like I'm fighting against a brick wall. Every job I get, I have to fight, fight, fight. And sometimes you get to the point, especially you start reaching your 40s, and in your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s, you want to do what fulfills you. And it's not about fighting the whole way. You want to do what fulfills you. And so when women get tired of fighting, they're just like, you know what, let me just stay here. I have my work. It's not the best, but I'll just make do with what I have, right? And sometimes women are reluctant to ask for help, but that's the number one thing you need to do. So number one thing to do is to ask for help. Ask for a mentor. Maybe your mentor isn't in your workplace, but they don't have to be. They can be in other workplaces. You'd have 2 mentors, right? You actually have 2 mentors. And so you don't have to have, there's no one in your workplace that will mentor you. And I've been in workplaces, I did not get a mentor until I was in my 50s. I did not get a mentor. And so I always advise women when they're first coming into the workplace, establishing their first career, be on your business to find a mentor. And I actually tell guys the same things, right? It's a little easier for guys, but I still push that. Very important to get a mentor as close to coming out of the gate with your first job as you can. But it doesn't matter the age. You heard me say I didn't get my first mentor until I was 50. He is still with me. One of the best things that, decisions that I ever made. And I'm glad that he said that he would work with me, right? So getting that mentor is important. Do make sure that you join organizations like, I'm a coach. I'm a member of the International Coaching Federation. I'm also a licensed therapist. So I'm a member of a number of counseling associations. Whatever your profession is, be sure that you stay in touch. Join your professional organization, because oftentimes those professional organizations are fighting for your rights. And it's a place where you can find a mentor, or it can be a place where you find a sponsor, right? Typically you want your sponsor to be in your organization, but if you're stuck somewhere and the job is, unfulfilling, that means that you do need to start taking those steps to get to land in the right place for the next job. And certainly career coaches can help you do that. That is what we do, is what we love to do, right? And in addition to, joining your professional organization, work on local organizations or even virtual. Just a group of women, who are in the same fight, little ahead of you, some a little bit behind, but some with you. Because isolation causes you to feel more. If you're depressed, it causes you to feel more depressed. If you're anxious, it causes you to feel more anxious, right? You know, we talk about the 8 basic needs of human beings. One of those is the need to belong, and you do need to belong. In that way, you can get motivation from each other, and you can push each other to go ahead and move to your next best level, right? And so you don't have to let fear, keep you in a job that you hate. You don't have to let I'm tired of that struggle. Get a career coach to help you find a job that matches you, right? Because I know I was in my 40s. I was like, I don't want to do the struggle thing anymore. I'm done struggling. I'm done fighting. Some women, especially for Black women, we get the label of angry Black woman because we have to fight. You go in the job, you got to fight to get what you owe, what you deserve, right? Here's what I work for. Here's what I'm owed because of the hard work I do. And then when we do that, we're called angry Black women. Well, some of us just don't like to fight. I just want a job where I can do my job and perform at my best level because everyone here is trying to do the same thing. You can do that with the career coach. You can find that sweet spot for you, right? It is possible. And that is what I help women do. And that's what career coaches help women do, right? And so again, if you're feeling, stuck in a job that's not fulfilling, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Professional organizations, your mentors, your sponsors, career coaches, we're here to help, right? And so definitely join me next week. Let me just say thank you for hanging in there. And I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I didn't hear anybody, see anybody putting any comments out there. Hopefully you can definitely still hear me. I do appreciate you for joining me today. Be back here the same time next Wednesday. We're going to be talking about biases that women face in the workplace. And particularly next week, I'm going to be talking about that prove it again bias, how it affects women in the workplace, and what you can do to get around it so that you can still succeed. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Those of you who catch this on the replay, thank you as well. And I will see you guys back the same time next Wednesday, 8:35 p.m. Eastern, as I talk about the prove it again bias. Have a great evening or good morning or afternoon. Bye-bye.